Washington's 4-21. New Orleans is 5-23. Utah is 6-20. Toronto is 7-21. Charlotte is 7-20, and they've beaten all those teams.
Right. And it's not like those teams are going to start suddenly stacking wins in the second half of the season.
Philadelphia is the one team in the bottom 10 right now that you could see
get themselves together.
Climbing up. They're 5 wins ahead of Philly right now. And so let's say Philly jumps up and everything else stays the same. Even if that pushes the Bulls out of the play-in or out of the playoffs and they lose in the play-in, they're giving up the 14th pick or the 13th pick. And like at that point, so I guess it's impossible to like completely remove the pick from the equation. But like if the pick was unprotected and it was going to the Spurs no matter what, how would you feel differently about the Zach LaVine trade? And I think that's kind of starting to creep into the calculus for me, which is like there's a good chance, I think probably a better chance than not at this point, that they don't keep the pick. So how do you approach the rest of the season if the pick is not at the forefront? Because that's what we've been saying this whole time. The pick is the most important thing. I still think that's true, but I also think that even if they keep their pick, it's like 9th or 10th, and it's more likely that they're not going to keep it at this point. Obviously, a lot can change, but I just think that that does factor things in, and to me, that would change what I would want in a Zach LaVine trade, because if you're going to rebuild anyway, and I still think you would need to, you got to get some assets somehow. And like, how are you going to do that if you're trading Zach at a loss and you're not keeping your pick?
I mean, it would put a hit in their production and their win rate if they trade Zach and Vooch. I mean, those guys combined for,
no doubt
for 50.
But that's still assuming that both of those guys get traded.
Right. Which is not a safe assumption.
Is not a safe assumption
at all.
And it assumes that there's like a real reason to trade them. Like keeping your pick is a real reason, but I'm not like thrilled about the idea of trade Zach and trade Vooch right this second just to get rid of them so you can try to keep your pick when the odds of you keeping your pick is still or is lower and lower with every game. I mean, 13-15 is, you're not close right now. You are not close. And trading those guys, yes, they'd be worse, but I don't think that puts them in. I mean, I think the chances of them getting into a bottom 6 right now where they're guaranteed to keep their pick is like almost 0. They're just not close to that. And these other teams are just are not going to let them back in.
We all silly like the mayor.